Hello guys, the owner of the Tango Plantown YouTube channel asked me if I wanted to do a quick deck profile as I went undefeated at the Tango Plant tournament at YCS Dortmund we had last weekend. And we had one Time Wizards Tango Plant tournament there with around 100 players. And we played 4 rounds of Swiss. And I went undefeated 4-0. And I wanted to show you my quick deck list. I played Chaos. Chaos Lightsworn in the tournament, and first of all, we play Triple Judgment Dragon. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to play Lightsworn, you have to play Judgment Dragon. That's like the big payoff you get, and this card is just so powerful. One funny thing with this, it's level 8, which can matter for Tragedia, and just special summoning 1, 2, or 3 of those, just your opponents, you can deal a lot of damage really, really fast. And pairing with the Judgment Dragon, I'm playing 2 Lila, 2 Wolf, 1 Celestia, 1 Jane, 1 Lumina, 1 Gareth, 1 Aaron, and 1 Raikou. So I play 2 Lila because she's a pretty good normal summon, as well as Jane, Aaron, and Lumina. But all of the other ones are meh in comparison to other normal summons that you have in your deck, or that I was playing. So I didn't want to open many of them, but I had to play many different one-offs just to get Judgment Dragon live. And that's why you see so many different one-offs and only 2 wolves, for example, in my deck list. And Aaron is pretty good in this format because you can shuffle back Gachi Gachi Gantetsu, you can shuffle back Dandelion, Tengus that are in defense, Treeborn Frog, and stuff like that, which I noticed pretty early in the tournament that I really, really like this card. Jane is pretty good because it can run over Ryo, which is a small problem in this deck. It's not too bad, but it can still be annoying if you have charge or something like that in your hand. Then for the other part of the deck, like the Chaos part, I played 1 Blackluster Soldier at the beginning, 2 Chaos Sorcerer, 1 Gods, and 2 Tragedia. I sadly had to borrow 1 for the tournament, so these are 2 Tragedia. All of these cards are absolutely broken. Banishing Zangan, banishing some Synchros, banishing something, normal summoning in Tuner, and going into Arcanite Magician with Chaos Sorcerer. Man, these cards are so good, and all of them are light and dark, so they play into each other very, very well. You can even add stuff like Blackluster Soldier back with Beckoning Light, which you will see later in the deck profile. But yeah, these cards are all very powerful, and you should definitely play them if you want to play Chaos, and these make your deck like a Chaos deck. For my other normal summon, I'm playing Triple Tour Guide and 1 Sangan. I wanted to have another normal summon besides all the Lightsworn monsters, because Lumina is still at 1, and all of the other ones are pretty mediocre if you normal summon them. And this gives you a higher dark count in your deck, which I really, really liked. And it's, in my opinion, better than Card Trooper if you play like a big Chaos deck, because you have way more dark targets in your deck for stuff like Allure of Darkness, and this stuff, this can make Leviair pretty normally, or pretty easily, which helps like banishing Sangan off of Chaos Sorcerer and stuff like that, bringing that back, and then you get another search with this, which is something I really liked. I really liked this card at the tournament. For the last ones, I played double Necrogardener, 1 Global, 1 Plague Spreader Zombie, and 1 Honest. I think all of these are pretty self-explanatory in a Lightsworn deck. Necrogardener, so you don't die, Global, and Plague Spreader, so you have some synchro plays, which you'll see in the extra deck later, and 1 Honest because it's honest and this card's pretty broken. Those are all the monsters, so to the spells, I played 1 Charge of the Light Brigade and 3 Soda Recharges. Pretty self-explanatory. You have to play these if you want to play Lightsworn. These cards are just broken if you have them with Lightsworn in your hand, or charge even if you don't. Then for like the power spells, 1 Allure of Darkness, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Monster Reborn, which are like the power spells of Tango Plant. But these 4, Allure of Darkness not as much, but it makes sense to play in this deck because you have Tour Guide, Sangan, Necrogardener. you have so many dark targets in your deck, so it makes your deck a little bit more consistent in that way. And yeah, all of these cards are totally broken, so you definitely have to play them. For my last spell, I played 1 Monster Reincarnation. In addition to my 2 Beckoning Light, I really like Monster Reincarnation as it gives you a lot of, it has like a lot of versatility. You can add stuff back really, really fast if you want to, or just, and you do not have to set it, and it cannot get MST'd in the end phase and stuff like that. Which can close out, this card can close out games really, really fast if your opponent has 2 cards and you get back a Celestia, tribute summon your monster that you have on field, and stuff like that. And that's it for my main deck. I played 40 cards. Yeah, pretty standard for this format. Onto the extra deck, I played 1 Armory Arm, 1 Catastor, 1 Android, which should have been Orient Dragon. I couldn't find one at a venue, so play Orient Dragon if you have it. I said you couldn't find one. Then 1 Hyper Librarian, 1 Tempest Magician for stuff like Plague Spreader plus Lila. Then 1 Brionac because it's broken. 1 Arcanite Magician for you can make this with Hyper Librarian and Plague Spreader Zombie. You can make this with Glow Bulb and Chaos Sorcerer. You have many different ways to get to this card, which is very, very nice because this card pops 2 cards. Then we have Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Thought Ruler, and Trishula. Yeah, not many of them came up except for Trishula, Stardust Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, Arcanite Magician. Yeah, most of them came up. Like the basic ones came up. And then for last expertise was 1 Utopia, which I never summoned, but it can happen with 2 level 4s. Then 1 Leviair and 1 Leviathan Dragon, which are like the standard rank 3s in this format. Leviair is broken because you can summon yours or your opponent's banished monsters back to the field, and you can get Sangans, as I said, and all of those cards back. Then lastly, for my side deck, I played Triple Maxi, which is pretty standard for the format. I played Triple Veiler because they do have to be somewhere in your deck if you play this format, at least in my opinion. And you really need some defensive cards because my main deck is all gas except for Necro Gardener. You only play no defensive cards in that deck, and these ones help you go second, as well as 2 DD Crows. And yeah, you really need those if you want to survive or like want to stop your opponent, because if you do not have these in your deck and you cannot kill your opponent fast enough, you slowly run out of gas, and these help you stabilize sometimes so that your opponent cannot kill you. Then for back row, I played triple MST, double Forbidden Lance, and triple the Royal Decree. Triple MST for Floodgates and yeah, just back row hate in general, as well as the Decree. Forbidden Lance helped me especially against stuff like Frog Monarch, as well as Hero Stun, which I played, because it negates stuff like Starlight Road if you make your own monster unaffected, or stuff like Hero Blast, Bottomless Trap Hole, all of this stuff, and you just have to stick some monster onto the field. That's for my deck list. For the 4 rounds, I played against one Frog Monarch, 1 Tengu Plant, 1 Dark World, which was not legal at that tournament, but we still played the match, and I won that one. And my last round was against Hero Stun, which I won 2-1 as well. So yeah, I went undefeated at the whole tournament, and yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on the channel, and thanks for letting me do this deck profile. See ya.